Good morning, YouTube, and this is another episode of the Bad Diaries. This is a YouTube show that has changed recently, and I have deleted all my previous videos because I entered a new stage of my life, and I wanted to celebrate that by completely giving a facelift, let's say, to my channel. Now, today we'll be making two videos. This is part one, and obviously later I'm going to do the part two. Part one, which is the video that you're watching right now, is going to be about my experience in life so far, about what it means to be a fat girl, a fat woman, a fat person, how I got there, what it means for me, and what I think it means for the rest of the world as well. So, on part two, I will be talking about some things that I found recently that have changed the way that I treat my body. Um, but this one is a video, like a history of my life so far. I hit my hair today, and uh, it will be about body acceptance and being a body positive person as well. So I am 33 years old. Some people tell me they cannot tell my age. I look a bit younger. Um, I think that this is because I am a very healthy person. I mean, of course, I'm a fat person, but this has not compromised so far my health. And this comes up in my blood tests always. I do not have high blood sugar. I do not have triglycerides. I do not have anything like that. Uh, my only problem is that I have some iron deficiency, which is very common in women my age, because obviously we bleed, so we lose some of our iron. Apart from that, which is also a problem that my family has been having, like most females in my family have iron deficiency. Apart from that, I'm a very healthy individual. I'm not a person that can run, and I'm a person who would rather not run to catch the bus, but I still can run to catch the bus. But apart from that, being fat on a clearly physical level has not compromised my life to the extent that most people would think, okay? So I would rather take the lift or the elevator instead of climb the stairs, especially if it's like more than 2 floors. But who wouldn't? So definitely, I'm not a very active person. I do enjoy walking in the nature a lot, and I do get nature around where I am because I live in London, and London is a city that has maintained a lot of its green. So you can get to do that, but being a third year university student, which means I'm a final year university student as well, I have a lot to do. So I know that this is an excuse because you can always find time for what you really want. But anyway, it's a pretty damn good excuse as well. So I will talk about my history, okay? I was a chubby kid. I was not a fat kid, but I was a chubby kid. So it's like, you know, one of those kids that you could see a little bit of fat around the tummy and everything, but a very normal kid otherwise. Nevertheless, I have been tagged as fat ever since I can remember myself. So the first comment that I remember regarding my weight was when I was 6 years old, and basically what was happening is we had there was it was 1986, okay, and it was the Olympics in Korea. So we had gone to a friend's house to watch the initial ceremony that they do in the Olympics, and clearly remember it, even if I was only 6 years old. So maybe we need more light. Sorry, I thought there was more light in the room. So what was going on is they had these huge drums, the tiger drummers and everything. It was a very interesting ceremony. And they had all these girls that were jumping around with ribbons. They're doing gymnastics basically, and they were very graceful and very nice. And I was 6 years old, and on our way home in the car, I said to my parents that so I did the math because obviously the Olympics run every 4 years. And I was like, by the time I'm 16 in 1996, there will be Olympics again, and I will be old enough, and I will be competing in the Olympics, and I will be one of those girls, jumping around with ribbons and the balls and the hula hoops and doing these amazing things. And I got a comment from my father, of all people, and he said, when you're 96, I don't know if you're going to be jumping around with ribbons and stuff, but maybe you will be throwing, I don't know, do you call it a sledgehammer in English? You know, that thing, it's a ball and change, and you spin around with it, and then you release it, and it goes, so it's sport. So he said you might be doing that. Of course, I did not know what that means by that time, and I kept that memory in order to be able to interpret it later when I will be older, and I will be able to understand what that means. So that time happened, and I realized at that point that, but I realized even when I was 6 that this was really a comment about my weight and my body and the way I look. And I think that this was not very fair because kids, when they're 5 and 6, they say I'm going to be driving an airplane, or I'm going to be going in the outer space, and all weird things, and they're supposed to do that. And as a parent, you're supposed to encourage them. And you're supposed to tell them that they can do that. So I never had this kind of support from my family, and I became aware from a very young age of the way that my body looked, and I was tagged fat, basically. The oxymoron thing of the situation is that while my father did say so, he was paying for ballet lessons that I wasn't really keen on, and I always wanted things that were more active, like karate and stuff like that, but he would never give that to me. Let's turn down the music a bit. So parents are weird beings. On the one hand, they try to do everything for their kids. On the other hand, there's this kind of mean little devil in them that they want to bash their kids or bring them down at the same time. So that was it. I kind of remained a chubby kid, and a kid who was not very happy to be very active at school in terms of running and doing all these things. But nevertheless, I was doing that throughout most of my childhood, up to the point that I was 9 years old, and I was at my penultimate class of the elementary school, and my parents divorced, and it was not a good divorce. And we also moved from a small town of like 10,000 people that I was living in to the huge city of Athens of like 5 million people. So that meant huge changes, because when you're in a small town, you're allowed to ride your little bike around, you're allowed to go walking around, and in fact, I was really in love with my little bike, and I will ride it all the way to the sea, because we were living on a Greek island, so that was awesome. And I could, if it was sad, I would ride all the way to the sea, or all the way to a oh my god, what's the name for this thing? Lighthouse, to a lighthouse, and I would sit on the rocks and watch the waves break on the rocks, and I had this very deep connection with the sea and these specific places, the lighthouse, a bridge that we had. It was awesome. So all that was stripped away from me. I also had a garden. And I was a weird kid, because I would go in the garden and I would talk to the orange tree, I would talk to the lemon tree. I know that sounds a bit weird. I would talk to the mandarin tree, and to the vine, and they were sort of my friends, in a weird way. Um, I don't tell that very often, but that was true. And we also had a well in the garden, and I used to sing in the well. I really liked my voice echoing in the well. So all these things, the little things that I used to do, and my friends, of course, because I did have friends there, they were stripped away from me when moving to Athens, at which point I became a really fat kid. And that was the first time that I was 9, that was the first time that my parents took me to a professional dietitian to address this issue. Of course, the issue was not food itself. It was, a general situation, and I guess it's a lot easier than fixing the general situation, which was huge because a family was breaking up and a lot was happening. The easiest thing was to just, take the fat kid to the doctor and see if he can do something about it. So ever since age 9, I learned two things. One was guilt about food and guilt about my body, and the second thing was that I should diet. And ever since I was 9, I have been on and off dieting or sort of dieting and putting other names on it because, diet, after a point, it starts having a negative meaning. Um, I have lost my weight, which now is like 130 kilos, that is 291 pounds or 21 stones. I have lost my entire body weight and gained it back throughout my life. This is how much I have dieted. This is how much I have lost. This is how much I have regained. Um, with interest. This is the yo-yo effect. This is what happens when you diet. You always gain it back with interest, because what has happened is during the diet you have broken your metabolism down, and it's not working anymore. So when you start eating after the diet, your metabolism does not work the way it's supposed to be working. So you gain so much faster. So I really wish I had a thing for my hair. So this has happened to me. And the diets I've tried are, first of all, calorie restriction, which was the first thing I ever did. Um, they would give me this little book that had the calories about everything, and I would go around with that little red book and read, how much calories in an apple, and by I don't know, by 1 year, the calories in everything. So fat people who have done a lot of things are very nutrition-wise smart. We know things. Then the next thing that I did was, when this does not work, because diets are created to be a failure, and it's the only product, diets and gym, it's the only product that when it fails, it's not the product's fault, it's our fault. So if you buy a computer and it does not work, then you go back and you say, this computer does not work. You don't say, oh damn, I'm so stupid, I cannot make it work. But when you're on a diet and it doesn't work, it's your fault. It's not the product's fault. When you're in a gym subscription and it doesn't work, you do not get thin. It's not the product's problem. It's your problem. So the fat loss and weight loss industry has created this idea in our minds that when these products do not work, there's nothing wrong with the products. They're perfectly fine. It's just us, which only brings on more guilt and more negative feelings about our own self and our own self-confidence. So anyway, other things that I have tried are what I called extermination diets. They scientifically, I think they're called crash diets, because what they're doing is they're crushing down your metabolism. So this is really, really restrictive calories. This sort of 3 bananas and 3 yogurts a day. I've done that. I've done the soup diet, where you eat a soup of cabbage mainly, which is disgusting and it's really torturous. I've done an Atkins diet. I have done shakes like Herbalife and stuff, which basically means that you do not eat meals. You eat these shakes instead, and that does not work. I have I have gone to a biochemist, and I used to pay a lot of money every time I visited him. So he was a specialist, and he was training athletes on how to eat. And I had this cousin who was like a nationwide athlete. So he was going there, and then I started going there as well, because he would take on fat people as well and train them how to eat. And what he did is, of course, he would put you on high protein, like 900% protein shakes, like athletes do. So you would eat all these protein shakes, and you would eat a very fat restricted diet and a very calorie restricted diet. and you had to eat like 6 times a day and watch everything. So, a system that if you take out the protein shakes, it was a really nice reasoning, but with the protein shakes, I don't think it was a particularly good system to go by. I have done the blood the blood tests that show the food intolerances. So they do these blood tests and they say, oh, you're intolerant to onion or oranges or whatever, and you should not eat them at all. So then you do a diet according to what the blood test said, and you lose weight. I have done I have done institutes where you go there and they put you in these machines that are supposed to be dissolving your weight, and I have paid a lot of money there as well because you have to pay in advance for like the whole year, I think. So I have paid 1,000 euros to this to that scam, and I never did the actual program because it's a disgusting program to do anyway. And I have done, what else have I done? I have done I have done psychotherapy, of course, which is I wanted to leave that last. I have done psychotherapy, um, cognitive therapy, and counseling about eating disorders, and I have done 7 years of Overeaters Anonymous, which is a 12-step group, which does not think it's a diet, but it actually is a diet. So they will not tell you what to eat, although in the beginning they did have this thing called the gray sheet that they did tell you what to do. So they're supposed not to tell you what to eat, but in the end they do tell you what to eat, because you get all these subgroups like the how, um, the people that are very hardcore, and they kind of do tell you what and how to eat. Um, so the program works on the basis that God Almighty will come down and will restore us to sanity and will take away our obsession and will stop us from overeating and everything. And you're supposed to be welcome as long as you want to lose the weight. And I did lose a lot of weight there. But I still did not feel very good about myself because all the people around were so weight focused. And I think that this is a program that you might lose weight, but your eating disorder will be rampant by the time you're like 2 years in the program. And your guilt will be rampant as well, even if they advise against that. Um, because unfortunately, there are no professionals there to watch the things. So you just get a bunch of women who are really desperate about getting in size 10 clothes and are really desperate about their lives as a fat woman. And you hear a lot of stress and a lot of tears about that, which is not the way to go about. So the best thing that I have done so far when it comes to watching my weight, because after a point, what what is the main interest for me is not the way my body looks and how easy on the eye it will be for the other people, how accepted I will be by society, how easy it will be for me to find clothes, which are all issues, of course, for people that are bigger, for people that are fat. So after a while, the issue is not about the external side of things, it's about the internal side of things. It's about not wanting to binge anymore and not wanting to overeat anymore, because this is a behavior that is harmful to your body and it's harmful to your soul and it's harmful to your self-confidence as well. So as soon as you do it and you actually watch yourself after a while doing it, because you know that now you're going into the overeating pattern, you see it, but there's nothing you can do about it, because your emotion is one thing and your mind is another thing, and mentally you can elaborate and you can understand these things, but emotionally it just takes you over, and it drives you, of course, because compulsive people, people who eat compulsively are compulsive people, and this means that your emotion drives you. So after a while, the focus is sifted from the body thing and the how do I look and how much do I weigh and what's my dress size is, towards I want to have a healthy relationship with food. I want to have a healthy relationship with my body, because food is supposed to be a thing that nurtures you. It's not supposed to be a thing that harms you. And you're using a thing which is good. It's nurturing. It's giving you life. It's giving you energy. You're using this to harm yourself, which is really crazy. It's like using love to kill yourself, basically, which shows how much your relationship with your own self, which is only reflected in your relationship with your food, is disturbed. So this is what annoys you when you go on to have a higher understanding of what is going on with the food and what the relationship with your food means for you. This is what annoys you the most. So the most successful thing I have done so far is that last summer I did attend an eating disorders clinic back in Athens, which was totally free because it was, it was through the national health system there. Um, it was through a major hospital, so it was free, and it was totally supportive because you would get 1 hour of personal psychotherapy per week. You would also get group therapy where all the people were together and would talk about their issues with food. And you would also get drama therapy classes in tiny groups of like 6 people. You would get art therapy classes, and it was a very holistic approach by doctors, by psychiatrists, and so you felt support there in every kind of way. And it was really targeting the eating disorder. It was not targeting and your body image. It was not your body image issues. It was not targeting the food itself, because the food itself gets fixed once the eating disorder, which is a mental thing, is fixed. So I was really happy to do that, but then I had to leave and come to London again, because London is where I live now, and London is where I study at the university, so I could not stay any longer. Anyway, when it comes to body image, I think that all fat people, it doesn't really matter if they want to get thinner or if they're happy where they are, but all fat people should work on their body image and their self-confidence, because it is very crucial to live a life in a body that you do not hate. You might not particularly like it, but a lot of people do not like their bodies. But it is essential not to hate your body. It is essential not to spend every single moment of your day thinking about how to escape your own skin and grow thinner or whatever. I think this is a very essential power that we have to find somewhere inside of us if we want to live fuller lives. Fuller lives, it means being able to walk out your door, basically, because there are so many people who have been so fat shamed by their relatives, by the society, they do not even want to walk outside. And this is where all the problems start, because fat on its own, it does not mean unhealthy. There are actually some fat people that are more healthy than the skinny people. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of the very healthy fat people. That is what I'm saying. But there are people like that. The DNA is made in such a way that some people are supposed to be skinny and some people are supposed to be fat, and some people are supposed to have blue eyes and some people are supposed to have black eyes, and you get short people and tall people, and you get all kinds of shapes and colors and sizes and everything. And this is the way it is supposed to be. Now society is trying to convince us that everybody needs to be size 10 and at the most, and everybody needs to be doing this and doing that, and in order to be considered successful and good. But this is not true, and this is not the way nature meant it to be. Now, maybe nature did not mean for people to be very overweight as well, but definitely nature did not mean for all the people to be size 10. This is for sure. So what I find to be very important, not only for fat people but for all people, because it seems like 90% of the women, if not more, are not happy with their own bodies and they would like to change something in their own bodies. One of the most important things is to find balance and start to love your body, because your body is your own temple. It is what you have been given for this lifetime. You have to get used to it and suck it up, because you're going to live and you're going to die with it. And it is the thing that carries you around. It's your vessel, it's your vehicle. So you cannot hate it. It is a thing that gives you pleasure as well, okay? It is the thing that carries you out in the sunshine. It is the thing that carries you in the water, in the sea, to have a swim. It is the thing that, helps you have sex and everything. It is the thing that helps you eat, which is a very enjoyable thing to do as well. So it is, your body is a good thing. Your body can never be a bad thing, no matter what they have taught you. And I find very encouraging to start being more aware of our body image and trying to fix our body image and having body positive thoughts. And in that direction, I will show you some books that I find very helpful. And I think fat people, and as a matter of fact, all people should be buying these books or similar books. So, first and foremost, Fat. So, it's a cool book. The Forbidden Body is a cool book. The Fat Girl's Guide to Life is a cool book. Fat Chicks Rule is a cool book. And you get dozens more books like that, that are body positive, and they're helping fat people accept the fact that they are fat, celebrate the fact that they have this body and they have the right to live a life in that body, and they do not need to be apologetic throughout their lives. They do not need to try to convince people that, I'm exercising X amount of time per week and I'm eating this very healthy diet and really trying to be thin. You do not need to try to be thin. You can even stay fat, and actually scientifically it is way more healthy stay on a stable weight, even if that is a higher weight, rather than yo-yoing. Okay, yo-yoing, it totally screws up your body, your immune system, your metabolism. It screws up every single cell you've got in your body, while remaining a healthy body, eating a healthy diet, eat loads of food, but eat healthy food, and walking, like go out of the house, okay, breathe some fresh air, walk in the nature, listen to the birds, listen to the leaves of the trees, and this is healthy and this is good and this is all you need to be doing. And you need to be in harmony with your own self, whatever that self might be. You go on the internet and you can find pictures of fat people doing aerobic classes. I don't remember her name now, but you can find people of pictures of fat people dancing or doing yoga and doing the weird things. Maybe these fat people do not weigh 132 kilos like myself, but maybe there are as well. People as big that are as magnificent, and they have trained their bodies into being wonderful. I mean, take a look at the athletes that do, because we have a weird idea of what athletics are as well. So you get people who are trained to do speed, and these people are usually light people. So you get the runners, but the athlete is not only the runner. The athlete might be the bodybuilder, who is not a very healthy guy usually, because they eat all this whey protein, which is meant for cows, not people. Um, you get, but apart from them, you can get people who are doing weightlifting and they're definitely not skinny. You get people who are doing wrestling, like Greco-Roman wrestling, so they're training their body into being strong as opposed to being fast, and they're definitely not skinny. You get people who do all these throwing objects kind of sports. I don't know how you call them. They're definitely not skinny. So you get all these variety of bodies that are athletic. I mean, you get the rugby people and you get the baseball people, and they are stocky people and big people, and and healthy people. So we have to stop thinking as big, not healthy, skinny, healthy, because there are skinny people who are sitting on their asses all day long, and they're devouring like um, crisps and chips and all these things that come in a bag and sweets. And okay, their DNA and their metabolism helps them stay skinny, but they're not healthy at all. So we have to think outside the pigeonhole that magazines and TV wants us to think. And we have to definitely accept and love our bodies because it's the only one we've got. If we're not very happy about it and we want it to be more healthy for our own self, that's good. Go on and do that. Go out there and do that. If you don't, that's good as well. You know, do what you're doing and enjoy life to the maximum. So, this has been my history so far. This is how you get to be 132 kilos and not being apologetic about it. Actually, I wear quite tight clothes. I wear my tights every day. You don't call them tights. You call them, there's another word for that. Anyway, so it's not an undergarment. You're supposed to wear it and go out with it. And I wear tight shirts, and I don't mind at all that my fat rolls are showing because this is my body, and it is as valid as any other body, and it is as beautiful as any other body. Of course, I'm an artist and I'm a musician, but that is still an artist, and I see beauty in everything, which means it usually means that you're either a tasteless person or an artist. But in my case, I'm an artist. I think that all people should see beauty in everything because nature is like that. Nature is big and strong as a mountain, and it's gentle and thin as a leaf of a tree. And both these things are beautiful, and you are in awe by watching both these things. So that's it about my history. This has been a very long video. And now I'm going on to do my second video. Thank you for watching.